We get some change it up.
Preeminence, black sesame crusted.
I'm counting down for the wait.
Oh, I thought somebody was smacking.
I hate the sack. You like my brother? I hate sweating. You don't like it either. I know. I go in his office. You gotta wear a hat. You know, to me, a great office. I hate it. So am I. You know, I shower at 3 right in the morning. Then I go to the Y. Then I come back to the Y. I shower. Then I shower before I come here. After I shower.
You shower before the Y and
Yeah.
you come
You shower before you go to the Y.
We go all use
I have to shower before I go to the Y. He's like, wake up. Take it right there. I thought it was that.
I'm not judging at all, but I never heard of that. I'm not judging. I'm not.
I did the sushi, we did 2
I'm
calories.
not a judge. I'm a school
Muscles, I forget the impact or something else again there.
That's. All right, guys, we're going to get started. Let's stand for the pledge in a moment of silence, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. We're here for a special meeting here, public hearing, number of items for public hearing. So, Stephanie, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Cameron?
Here.
Mr. Bidler?
Here.
Mr. Rogers? Mr. Rosano? Mr. Ward?
Here.
Mr. Ritter?
Here.
Mayor Liscan?
Here.
Were we supposed to call here, Mr. Rosano or Mr. Rogers?
I wasn't aware.
We know that Mr. Rogers is on vacation, and Bobby's coming back down to us here in a second. Who knows where he is? No, I'm kidding. All right, now, the first item we have is a petition of Patrick Mastrangelo to vacate a portion of Audley Avenue that runs between lot numbers 5588, 565 on section 9 of the official survey map of the city of Newcastle. This property is located in an R1 low-density residential district of the 2nd Ward. Mr. Miller?
Yes, sir. As indicated by the mayor, this is the time and place set for the public hearing on the alley vacation request just recited. The procedural is as follows. I'll admit it to evidence documents attached to the petition and relevant notices. The applicant will be asked to come forward, identify themselves, be sworn under oath, provide counsel the reason for the alley vacation. And then council will have the opportunity to ask questions. Administration and solicitor's office will have the opportunity to ask questions. And then finally, the public will be given an opportunity to comment. Anybody from the public who does speak will be asked to be sworn so that their testimony can be made of record under oath. This time I'll review the attachments. Initially attached is the resolution of the Planning Commission, City of Newcastle 2024-12. Indicating that on the 5th day of June 2024, the Commission voted in favor of approval to vacate the alley. We're going to vote 3-0. Also attached is correspondence from the Planning Commission. The actual petition to vacate the portion of Audley Avenue, lots numbers 558A, 565 in section 9. The alley being running in a north-south direction between the lots. Consent to petition to vacate a portion of Audley Avenue attached, apparently signed by a neighbor. This was on March 11th, 2024. Meets and bounds description of the alleyway itself. An aerial plot map showing the location of the alley. Public hearing notice for today's date as well as recitation of the legal advertising. Mr. Mastrangelo in the audience.
Yes.
Sir, do you wish to come forward, identify yourself, be sworn, and just describe to council why you want to vacate the alley and what the purpose is for? Before, can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the truth, or the testimony provided today is the counsel will be true, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God on the last great day?
I do.
State your name, address, and tell us what you request.
Patrick Mastrangelo, 520 Sumner Avenue, Newcastle, PA, 16105. And so more or less, I just want to close off a portion of Audley Avenue. It was never developed. It was a paper road. I've been maintaining it and taking care of it for the last 7 years, gravel, snow, everything. And I would just like to close it off. I already got the neighbor's consent, and I would like to just pave it and, own it.
Does anybody else have access to the properties from the alleyway?
So it's just the neighbor. She parks on the front of the road on Sumner Avenue. They can drive down it. I did give them permission. They have it's almost like a one-stall garage underneath the house. It's never been used. There's been multiple tenants there. They've never used it. But I did give them permission if they wanted to drive down it and pull down into the yard, that, they were allowed to do that.
Do you understand that just by city council vacating the alleyway does not give you the right to control what other property owners within your subdivision, their right of access might be? Do you understand that?
I do.
And so if that alley was laid out as part of a plan of lots, which most of the city residential lots were, that wouldn't give you a free pass to block that off or build something right in the middle of it. That's going to be something separate you'll have to pursue with the individual homeowners. Do you understand that?
Okay.
Council,
Any questions for council? I was up there, and you can't even see that it was a street. It looks like a driveway in his house. It doesn't even look like a street. So, any other questions from council? Okay, what's the timetable here?
Any members of the
John?
public have any comment? Hearing none. Council can act on this at the next meeting.
At the next meeting, that will be on August 5th, 8th. August 8th is the public meeting. Correct. That's a Thursday. Okay, Patrick, yeah, we'll act on next on the 8th of August, Thursday night.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Just for the record, all the documents indicated will be part of the records.
Okay. Next item is conditional use request of 724 Auto Sales to operate a used car lot at 602 Highland Avenue. Property is located in the C1 General Business District of the Second Ward. John.
Thank you. Again, the procedure will be as follows. The applicant will be asked to come forward, be sworn, identify himself or herself, and provide counsel with the reason for the request for conditional use. The counsel, as well as the administration and solicitor's office, will have the opportunity to ask questions. Members of the public will be given an opportunity to ask questions and provide comment. We'll ask that each sworn testimony is on behalf. As far as documents associated with this request are concerned, attached is a resolution of the Planning Commission 2024-14, whereby the Planning Commission on June 5th, 2024, voted in favor of the conditional use request by 3-0. The application for conditional use indicates this is in the Second Ward, street address 603 Highland Avenue, Newcastle 101. The applicant is 724 Auto Sales. This is a C1 zoning district. The applicant intends to sell used automobiles from the facility. This is the old cat loading shop on Highland. Baltimore Motors.
Oh, I get it.
Also attached is a deed showing the transfer from Mr. Logan to EAM Rentals of Virginia. Public hearing notice for the conditional use request. A schematic showing the planned use of the property. And an affidavit indicating that the property was posted and a copy of that notice. At this time, will the applicant or representative of the applicant please come forward and identify yourself and be sworn?
Good morning, how you doing? My name name is Aisha from 724 Auto Sales.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn? Swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Counsel, so help you God, on the last day.
I do.
Go ahead, if you want to tell counsel. When.
Yes, Aisha. So I'm the owner of Preeminence Rentals too, and the 724 boat. The 724 is just under my wife thing. I'm just trying to get our business up and running. We do own a couple car lots down the Virginia side. This is the first one in PA that we want to start. So that's what we're applying for, conditional use permits for cars down there. I understand the lot was used, but for inspection station before, and I guess we sold 1 or 2 cars there, so it's not really used for not authorized before.
Okay.
Questions from counsel?
Any questions?
Hi, sorry, just a quick question. What's the name of the corporation that it's going to be under?
This is gonna be under 724.
Yeah, and what's going to be the name of the business? What's the name? You said,
That-
yeah, all 724, that's what you
That's separate completely.
Okay. And you said you have a few other.
Yeah, so I own Lead Automation, I also own Auto Sales Center, also own Approve Auto Sales, but they're all in Virginia.
In Virginia. Okay, thank you so much.
And the name of yours is 724 Auto Sales. I
Yeah.
got you.
How many cars are you putting on the lot?
I mean, we're gonna start off with 25. I know there's a lot right behind the building. That's all part of the property, so later on down the road, we're trying to grade that in and improve that towards it. But right now, it's probably gonna be 25, just to start off with.
Okay.
And this is just to sell cars, or you're not gonna do any maintenance or any repairs?
I'm gonna sell cars, and obviously maintenance is not gonna be for public, it's gonna be basically for our own, because the room is not enough for the car going for maintenance. But there is a lift, and it was used as a maintenance before. So there's already a maintenance garage, 2 garages on the property.
And then the cars that you're bringing, there'll be cars that are junk cars that you're fixing up, or they'll actually be
No.
on the lot ready to sell when you bring them in?
They'll be on the line ready to sell.
Okay. So you're not doing any maintenance on cars?
No. Like small here and there maintenance, like oil changes and stuff like that, but not serious.
Would you be open every day? Or?
With the what?
I think it's fine. All right, we're good.
What is it? So Monday to Friday, 10 to 7, that's our hour that we have.
Any other questions?
How many employees do you intend to have?
I mean, right now it's probably gonna be 2, but we're gonna see how it carries on and then go from there.
How about lighting, security, cameras?
Yeah, I'm gonna have security cameras, obviously. Lighting, there is gonna be on the building that we're gonna put 3. I mean, it's not a big lot, so I don't have to put 10 poles.
Okay.
Will you be running it?
Me and my wife.
Are you residents of this community?
No, not yet.
Oh, when did you move?
She's moving to PA soon, so she's gonna be residents. We're still in the process of looking. We officially haven't moved.
Welcome to Newcastle.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking at your website. You guys have decent cars in Virginia.
Yeah. We
Maybe
have.
buy one, Ed.
No, I'm good.
Question. Is this going to cause any sort of competition with the other, and correct me if I'm wrong, council, but isn't there a car lot right across the street?
That's the detail.
That's a
Yeah,
detail.
detail.
Okay, okay. Never, disregard my question.
No car parks or tires on the premises. Any members of the public wish to provide comment? Hearing none, we can close the record.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you for your interest in our community.
Thank you.
Vote on this one, the next council meeting? On the 8th?
August 8th. August 8th will be the meeting where we vote on your vote.
Sounds good. Thank you.
For the record, we will include the petition as exhibit 1.
Okay. We moving along?
Yep.
Okay. conditional use request of Daniel Jarrett to operate a triplex rental at 5 North Greenwood Street. Property is located in the R2 medium density residential district of the 6th Ward. Mr. Miller.
Again, the procedure will be as follows. The applicant will be asked to come forward, identify himself or herself, indicate the request for conditional use of counsel, and counsel will have the opportunity to ask questions as well as the administration and solicitor's office. The public will be given an opportunity to ask questions and provide comment. We ask that the sworn is under oath. As far as the application is concerned, the following exhibits are attached and will be admitted. Resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Newcastle 2024-15, indicating by a vote of 3-0 that approval is recommended. That was June 5th, 2024. Application for conditional use identifying the property as the 6th Ward, parcel ID 06-025700. The applicant is Danielle Jarrett, 1824 Eastbrook Road. The owner is D&D Specialty Properties LLC. This is an R2 zone district, and the desired use is a triplex, which is a conditional use in that zone district. Attached is schematics of the first 3 floors, showing the location of various rooms within the triplex. A closing agreement with respect to sale of property, deed, special warranty deed, showing ownership of the properties, Pennsylvania LLC. Hearing notice for the conditional use, affidavit, and property notice. Will the applicant please come forward and identify himself or herself and be sworn?
Hi, Danielle Jarrett, and the property's 5 North Greenwood, and we get a triplex again.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony provided to counsel will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and you shall answer to God in the Tell counsel what you want.
I just want to make it back into a triplex. I don't know if it's ever zoned one, but it went back to being single family because it was vacant for so long. But it's always been, to my knowledge, at least a duplex. When we bought it, the top floor was done. It looked like it'd been lived in, but we weren't aware of the zoning issue right away. So I'm just trying to fix this.
Is each floor a separate unit? Is that
Yes.
how it works? Do they all have separate access
Yep.
points?
Mhm.
Is there, any sort of fire suppression or fire escapes to the other floor?
Yeah, they do. They all have their own patios too. They all have their own outdoor sitting spaces and separate entrances, actually multiple for each floor. Three's the only one that has one because it comes down, I guess that's 2 technically, but they do all have their own exit.
And, is there adequate room for a vehicle parking on the street?
Yeah, there should be room for at least 2 vehicles per unit.
Per unit?
It's got a pretty big backyard, and it's like you go along the house and then it cuts over, and that's just all. You could park them side by side. You could even put them in the backyard too if you wanted. There's a pretty good amount of room there.
Council, have any questions?
I got a couple. First one, is this your, do you have other property in the city of Newcastle?
No, this is our first
This
purchase
is
here.
your first.
Mhm.
Let me ask, why that property?
I just loved it. I don't know. I saw the ad for it, and I don't know. I just told the real estate agent I wanted to see it when we went. I loved it. And we were the only ones who didn't turn around and walk out as soon as we went in it. I don't know. I just liked it. And honestly, it's been nothing but good surprises so far to us. So I don't regret it yet.
Have you talked to any of the local neighbors in that
Yes,
area?
there's a triplex right next door to it, and they're all really nice people. There's like an 86-year-old man in the first unit. He helps. There's a single lady in the one next to it, and he always checks on her. He's 86, but he checks on her. And then there's sisters living upstairs. They're all really nice. It's a good area. I didn't think it was at first, but we haven't had any problem. Everybody's been really nice.
Do you live in one of the units?
No, I live on Eastbrook Road.
That's all I have.
Okay, any other questions? Ladies?
Yeah, so have you guys ever done a flip like this or is this gonna be your first one?
It's our first rental. We're not gonna flip it. We're definitely gonna keep it for a couple
Okay.
years. I mean, if it goes horribly, then we'll sell it. But
Hopefully
if
it won't.
not, hopefully, I'd like to keep it. I mean, I like the house, and it's been good to us. We don't have a ton into it, so hopefully I can hold on to it.
And what are the expectations in regards to what you're gonna be renting each unit for?
Like the dollar amount?
Yeah.
I haven't totally decided. I was figuring around the 600 range for the third story because I don't know who wants to hike a couch up 3
Yeah.
sets of stairs. I really don't. But I was thinking probably 800, 900 range for 2 and 1.
Yeah, because they seem pretty big.
It
for
is.
the-
And they have these great outdoor areas. Like the porch on the first floor has a huge high ceiling, and the second story has a swing already, and the third story even has its own outdoor little seating area too. And they have great views, and my hope is just to get really nice tenants, hopefully that want to stay. I don't want to be one of those people that raises rent and goes through people left and right. I like to get people that want to stay. And keep
Wish
it.
wish you the best of luck.
Yeah. Thanks.
Anything else?
Any members of the public have comment? Not hearing none. Close the record.
Okay, and also for the, on the eighth box, move on this? Okay, all right, Mr. Chair, thank you.
Thank you.
Our last one for this hearing is the conditional use request of Metrovitalization to construct a 5 to 6 story building with retail and commercial on first floor, and single-family apartments on second floor, and up at 119 East Washington Street. The property is located in C2 Central Business District of the second floor.
Thank you. This is, again, the time and place set for the public hearing on the conditional use request of Metrovitalization LLC for a mixed-use residential, commercial, retail building, new construction, approximately 5 to 6 stories tall, located at 119 East Washington Street, City of Newcastle, PA. It is zoned the commercial 2 district, C2 General Business District. The procedure will be as follows. The applicant or representative of the applicant will be asked to come forward, be sworn, and provide evidence and testimony in support of the conditional use application. Council will have the opportunity to ask questions and examine the applicant, as well as the administration and the solicitor's office. The public will have the opportunity to ask questions and provide comment. We would ask that commentary or questions be sworn with your oath. As far as the application is concerned, attached in what we will mark as applicants exhibit 1 collectively are the following documents: the resolution of the Planning Commission, City of Newcastle, 2024-13, indicating the public meeting was held on June 5th, 2024, and the decision of the Planning Commission recommending approval of the same date and a vote of 3-0. The conditional use application filed by Metrovitalization is also attached. It indicates the same as I described before for conditional use for a multi-story mixed-use building. There's a deed showing ownership of the premises currently in Deed and Ditmore Limited. There's also a Pennsylvania commercial real estate purchase agreement that is signed and initialed by the buyer. The agreement does not indicate it has been signed by the seller. It's on the one that's been attached to the petition. I've also attached is an architectural or graphic rendering of what appears to be outside of the proposed development, showing the building, project overview, which includes an executive summary describing the proposed development project. Then there are some architectural drawings, renderings, indicating the location of the site, outdoor space around the proposed development, a map showing the location of the proposed development within Lawrence County, documents Also attached is the conditional use hearing notice indicating legal advertising and the date and time of hearing, affidavit of the zoning officer indicating posting of the hearing notice on relevant properties in the city of Newcastle. So at this time, I would ask, and those will all be collectively marked as applicants exhibit 1. I'd ask the applicant or representative of the applicant to come forward, be sworn, identify yourself, and then proceed to make your presentation to council. State your name, sir.
Ricky Trinidad.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you provide tonight to council will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please proceed.
I have a presentation. Okay, so thank you again for City Council for allowing us to present this project to you. We're calling the project Preeminence 1 Development. It's located at 119 East Washington Street. Just going to talk about the location a little bit first. First of all, we acquired the property on Friday, July 19th, so we purchased it. I don't know if it came up if you did the research on deeds, but the deed is now under our name. We also obtained a demolition permit last Friday, so Friday, July 26th. Right now, we're currently in asbestos abatement, so we're cleaning the property, getting it ready for demolition. And estimated time of full abatement and demo is about 30 to 45 days. Really, it just depends on how quickly the abatement company remediates the property. So as soon as they're done with that, we have our demo permit, and we'll go ahead and actually demolish the building in 1 day. Is it working?
Yeah.
Oh,
In and out.
there. All right, I will zoom in. It'll take us a couple days to demo the building and remove the debris, and then we will secure the property. Still going in and out. Let's see here. Let's try something like this. See if that works. Your wireless connection?
Go ahead.
All right. 30 to 45 days, okay. So at this time, that's really the status of the property. We acquired it, we're doing asbestos abatement and remediation, and we have the demo permit, and we're proceeding to demolition as soon as it's available, feasible. So this is kind of a site plan of the property. I just want to go up, just the next 3 slides will be describing the development itself. What you see right there is the top view. So if you're in a helicopter, that's what you would see. That's a rooftop garden deck on the 5th floor that would basically oversee both the creek, just a beautiful view up there, and the ground that's around it is a walk pad, the deck walk pad all the way around. So there's nothing like it. Obviously right now in Newcastle, beautiful rooftop deck, elevator access upstairs. We're thinking about putting a kind of a meeting room or a kind of an event room for the guests upstairs as well, but that hasn't been, it's preliminary. These apartments, and I'm going to go into the details of the apartments. Well, first of all, the retail spaces, there will be 4 of them, and This is an estimated monthly for the tenants that we will be bringing in, about $2,500 to $3,500 a month. That's brand new Class A office space on the first floor there on Washington. And on the residential side, we have from studio apartments, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and 3 bedroom apartments. And 3 bedroom apartments on the top floor. And those are going to range from about $900 a month to about $2,400 a month. So these are not low income, but they're not high income luxury properties either. We're making it so that middle income families can afford a brand new, beautiful, deluxe apartment in downtown Newcastle, unlike any other, because there are no other new apartments in the area. So that's just the site plan. This is kind of the detail of what's going on in each unit on each floor. On the first floor, we're going to have 4 retail spaces, and I'll show you the layout in just a second. Each retail space will be about 2,400 square feet, each retail space. And they're going to be 10 to 12 foot ceiling heights. It's going to feel like a loft, and there are a lot of glass, a lot of open space entirely. Floors 2 through 4 will have 4 studio apartments, 3 1-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartments, and 3 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartments. That's floors 2 through 4. And then the 5th floor is going to be different. It'll have 2 studio apartments, 2 1-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartments, and 4 3-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom apartments. Those are 1,654 square foot apartments, and I'll show you kind of the layout. So those are very unique, very beautiful. They're on each corner of the building, only on the top floor. So if you want a 3-bedroom, you're in the penthouse suite. It's not in floors 2 and 3, or 4. So the total building area, gross square footage is about 82,000 square feet, but that's including, the hallways and, the lobby area and all of that. Under air square footage, it's about 56,000 square feet. And the footprint of the building is about 12,600 square feet. So that's just a rundown on just the parameters of the building that we're proposing. Okay. So this is a layout. Those are it's for me, tell them I'm busy.
Birmingham, Alabama, Mike.
That's definitely not for me, though. These are very preliminary elevations. They are architectural drawings. These are not renderings, but we're changing it a little bit. So we're adding balconies. There's going to be a little bit less brick. Every apartment will have a spacious balcony, so there's going to be less glass in that, but that's just the north, south, east, and west elevations. I tried to put on here so that you can see the layout of everything. You can see the 4 spaces in the retail. Let me see if I can do this with the cursor. You enter the building in the middle here off of the park or Appleway. And you have a lobby in the middle with, I can't see the cursor, 2 elevators. And behind the elevators you have stairs, obviously, for fire, but also people who don't want to get in the elevators. So that's basically the lobby area. If you were to go from here, let me see if I can get in there, you would land right here on the first floor. We have two bedrooms in that corner, 2 1-bedrooms, the studio here, studio on this side, a 1-bedroom and a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment here. That's floors 2 through 4. So those floors are identical. The 3rd floor is different. So each corner of the 3rd floor has that 3-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom unit, and then you have studios and 1-bedrooms as well. So that's a basic configuration, and obviously the roof is that garden deck that I showed you. I just wanted to give you kind of an understanding of the layout that we're designing right now. We've had this building will be a modular building, very, very reputable modular company over 50 years. They just do nothing but quality. And they're basically building out the second floor through the fifth floor for us. When it arrives, it'll be pretty much complete. And on the first floor in the basement, we're planning on using a precast company that we just got bids on. Everything's coming in our pro forma numbers. By doing it this way, it goes up a lot faster. It's a much higher quality. So when you, instead of doing CMU on the first floor in the basement, these precast walls will come up from the basement all the way up to the second floor. Already the windows punched out, already framed, the exterior finish is done, and then the modular components are stacked on top of those all the way to the fifth floor with the crane. So it actually goes up very fast. Many dormitories, like university dormitories, have been done by the same company. They've done a lot of mid-rise buildings in Philadelphia. They're very reputable, family-owned. I was there in Scranton and just met with them, and we have a very good deal going on. So they're facilitating this process. They want to work with us on other projects we'll be developing in Newcastle. So this is a modular building, which means higher efficiency, higher quality materials and workmanship, laser precision construction technologies that they have at their plant, which I visited just 2 weeks ago. Okay, so community benefits, I want to talk about that very briefly. It's an economic boost, a brand new 84,000 square foot Class A retail on the first floor with deluxe apartments. These apartments will have high ceilings, beautiful. They're brand new, so you walk in, they smell new, they feel new. The families that move into this, hopefully many of them from Newcastle, but some may not be from Newcastle. When they come in, they're just going to love the units. They're going to move into an enhanced quality of life from the air conditioned in the system to the efficiency to the quality of materials, brand new. So this is an economic boost when you have 12,000 square feet of Class A commercial on the first floor. You're creating jobs. You have 38 new families. That's increasing the consumer base for Newcastle. So these people will, they'll buy goods in the area. That increases the economy of the area. They attract, visitors, guests, and families. So you live on the third floor, you're going to have your friends come in. They'll stop and get some gas, buy pizza in the area. It's increasing the economy just because of that. It supports and enhances the existing local businesses in the area, just because you have new goods and services and new families here. You create jobs. The retailers on the first floor will hire employees in the area. You beautify downtown, which makes it more attractive and appealing for other businesses to come in and other development. Downtown beautification, and it stimulates revitalization in the downtown area. So that's what a brand new building of this type will do for our city, for our downtown. And I want to talk about the design quality and the aesthetic. First of all, it enhances the quality of life because it's new construction. So in downtown Newcastle, we'll have a higher quality of living to offer for residents that want to come in to the city. It's a sustainable design. I mentioned higher energy efficiency, higher insulation, low carbon footprint. So this is good for the environment. It's environmentally friendly. Attractive finishes and community-friendly design. This integrates with the current design. So we're doing the brown brick. We have some glass. That's the modern aspect. But we have traditional brown brick on the exterior, which is going to fit in very well with the environment. The rooftop garden deck. That's very appealing. That should make the news because that doesn't exist here. And the truth is, people that live in apartment buildings don't necessarily have a backyard. So now they have a rooftop garden that they can, spend time with their kids and with their friends and families there with a beautiful view. It's pedestrian friendly and it's transit oriented or transportation oriented. So you can live here and walk to the bus station that takes you to downtown Pittsburgh. So it's transportation. You can work in Pittsburgh and now live in downtown Newcastle, so you're attracting, and then as well, you have pedestrian-friendly nature, so it's walkable. For example, we have a pocket park going on across the street with a dog park and bicycle racks. Who's going to use that? You don't have residents living in downtown. That pocket park is just so it looks pretty. Who's going to use it? Well, these residents will be right across the street from it, and they will definitely benefit from that new pocket park that the city's putting in. So there's a purpose for that pocket park, and this building helps fulfill that purpose. It's a very attractive building. It's truly a benefit to Newcastle, to the entire city, and to downtown. So I want to talk about our specific requests and conditional use approval. The Planning Commission formally recommended approval by City Council for our application. So that has been formally submitted to you. Our building meets all of the requirements of the city ordinance. We're not asking for anything that's different from what the ordinance requires. There's a note in the ordinance, and I wrote it down here, and I do have a handout to give you because we included it in there. We also included a construction schedule in the handout we're giving you. But that section of the ordinance, 1331-06B2, states that off-street parking requirements are not required in the C2 Central Business District, and that's because of the existing infrastructure. So you have the Temple Building, the Wright Building, you have the Majestic Building, they all have residences upstairs, and they're existing older buildings. Why not approve it for the preeminence that creates a brand new development? Not to mention, it will increase the property values for everybody in downtown and in the city. So it's an economic advantage. Preeminence 1 is the highest and best use for the property. A 5-story mixed use new construction building. We're not saying 20 stories. We're not saying 3 stories. Now, if you don't approve it, so you didn't approve it, we bought the property. So this happened to me in an adjacent township here. I came in and we were going to do a campground, and I thought it was approvable for the zoning code, but they didn't approve it. So we did 24 homes in a retail plaza, and we're still going, I wasn't going to sell the property. If you don't approve it, we're not going to sell the property and just leave. We'll probably build a single-story retail building that's approvable by right, but that's an injustice, I believe, at that location. I believe that what's best is what we're showing here. Yes, we can do it. It's faster, it's easier, it's cheaper for me to build a little single-story building like Butts Flowers across the street. But is that what the city wants? We can just go straight into a permit right now and just get that and build a single-story. But we're trying to maximize the benefits to the city. So it's really in your hands, it's up to you. We're asking that you approve it so we can go forward with a much better building than what we would have to build if we didn't have your approval. Oh, I have one more button to press.
Yeah.
Therefore, we formally request your approval of the conditional use application for the Preeminence 1 development.
The handout you mentioned that has the timeline, do we have that?
Yes. And the timeline is, I'll just summarize it, it's further attachments. The timeline is approximately 12 months from the date we get the permit, we'll be done with it. So if we have the permit in September, by September of next year, because it's modular technology, we'll be finished with this project.
I have some questions. I'm sure council has some questions. So you're saying, Rick, everything that you get your approval, you're telling us that within a year, this place is going to be up and running?
Actually, much faster, no, a year from the day we get the permit. So let's say you approved it, does this have to go to the August date approval, or would it just be approved tonight?
We'll speak with Jonathan about that. I can't leave.
Well, I just wanted to walk it through with you. So if we were approved tonight, then immediately we engage our architects. Obviously, we haven't engaged the architect and engineer, so we have preliminary architecturals that I showed you. But we'll engage our architects at that moment. and move the project forward. Then we'll submit the permit application to the city. So I'm not sure how long that's going to take here. We'll provide, very professional, superior drawings and meet all of the requirements of the architectural engineering designs. Once we receive the building permit from the city, approximately 12 months. The modules themselves, so we went through this in detail, and I can walk you through if you would like the construction process. The modules, from the day that we order it, 6 weeks later, they're ready. 6 weeks. So they have 2 factories, and they're ready to move this forward for us quickly. So let's say 6 to 8 weeks ready. They're ready. So from the day we get the permit, those modules are ready. Now there's still work to do on the site. So we'll order the walls simultaneously. The walls arrive, then the modules arrive. It takes about 2 months for the building to be ready after the modules arrive. There's exterior finishes, there's balconies get built on site. Of course, the elevator, the modular company doesn't provide that, so we'll probably get Otis or one of the local elevator companies to come in. There's 2 elevators. The elevator shaft goes up before the modules get installed, but they still have to install the elevators. The rooftop deck, exterior finishes, and site work. That's basically what's remaining. So the modules are done fast. The building actually goes up pretty fast, but then there's still exterior and interior work that has to be done. We have to connect electrical, plumbing, and sewer, and water, and all of that.
Did you say that you were going to do some work on the Zambelli part as well?
We're interested in collaborating with the city because our tenants will be living there, and we want to beautify it. So we actually have a line item in our pro forma that includes collaborating with the city to enhance Zambelli Park. But that's not part of this because I didn't want to stall your approval and I didn't want to complicate things, but yes.
You know what else I'm curious about is that we talked about retail. You talk about retail on your first floor. Is that retail that you and your organization will own, or is that something you're going to lease out?
Lease out. However, we've been talking with the CDC, Brian Burek, and we know that the CDC had a plan which is similar to what we would love to do, of an open air market that's kind of like a farmer's market that has artists and music and art and food and things like that, but you have a lot, instead of 1 tenant or 4 tenants, you open it up with garage doors in the front and you open it up to small businesses. You lease these smaller spaces. They're kind of like booths, but it makes it vibrant, entertaining. So we love that idea. I was actually going to do something like that in another market. Didn't have the opportunity to, so we would like to facilitate that as much as the CDC would like. But if the CDC doesn't want it, the normal is from day one, as soon as we start work, we're branding downtown Newcastle. So our marketing people, we're going to engage a commercial broker and a residential broker. They go to work from day one, so they have 12 months to pre-lease the residential and the commercial. They may bring in the Starbucks, or it's Class A, brand new, with 38 families upstairs.
I was going to say, you have captured audience right there.
You have an embedded customer base. So
right there.
every retailer is going to want to come in and take the spot, especially at these prices. However, our preference would be to work something out and at least do a couple of units, maybe 10,000 square feet of open air market in the front.
Well, and after I'm done here, my last comment, then we'll open up the council for questions. I'm sure they have questions. And I've said this 100 times since I've been in this office. For cities like us, the true components of successful partnership with the city and business investors is speed to market, cut the bureaucratic red tape. That's the essence of development in today's world. And I appreciate the potential that we can actually have in our downtown. I'll say this again, demolition and then construction. That we haven't had that in our downtown in quite some time. Can't remember. I've been around this planet for a long time, and I can't remember the last time that's occurred. So, council questions.
I got a couple, that's all right. Trinidad, did you do any research on the demographics and the pricing of the tenants in the downtown area of Newcastle right now? And if so, what did you find with that study?
Very healthy. I did an in-depth market analysis. It's a 102-page report. Happy to send it to you. I did it a couple weeks ago. We used CoStar, we used actual market data, trends, government data, and what we found is that the absorption rate for there's a huge demand in downtown Newcastle that people aren't aware of. They look at it and they say, well, who would want to live here? Well, if you don't have this analysis was done, say, okay, if it's the way it is, of course, you're not going to rent, it's going to be harder to rent apartments. Although the building where my office is downtown has residential upstairs, which is what we're requesting, the Temple building, and he leased his apartments upstairs in a week at about the same prices, similar to prices. Ours are a little bit higher. So I'm happy to send it to you and to the city council, but we have it in depth, and it's based on factual data and actual CoStar comps in the area for both the retail and the residential.
And my second question was based upon the rent per tenant, but it was in your presentation, so thank you for that, and that's all I had.
Mr. Trinidad, I just want to say congratulations on owning a property downtown. So we're very optimistic on seeing actual work done. The only thing I pretty much wanted to say, but it seems like you already kind of answered it. The retail units, I saw that they basically all are the same square footage. Would you consider obviously subdividing some of those because there might be some businesses that might not need something of this magnitude or how big they are? So I was just wondering in regards to, obviously that's a possibility.
Yeah, they're designed to subdivide them, and each one has two entrances and exits, so they can be easily subdivided.
Outside of that, I'm looking forward actually to demolish of this building and you actually building. This could be quite impressive and hopeful, that we see it come through in the next year.
I remember at the first presentation that I did for a much larger preeminence, you wanted to see us do something smaller first because we're new to the area, and I get it, that makes a lot of sense. So we're happy to have this first project to start, and we're already cleaning it up and ready to demolish it, so we're excited to get
Excited to see it. Anything else?
So, understanding that I know you mentioned the CDC. Now, would that be, just to understand that part of it, and I don't want to get too far into it because I know that there's nothing there yet, but you're saying that they would rent that space, or that's something that you would work with them to, do for free, or I'm just trying to understand that.
Well, not for free.
Okay, so they would pay that $2,500 to $3,500.
Yeah, and as I understand it, they're working on a grant, so they don't have the money yet, but if they did get the money, we would facilitate it, design, plan, and do a lot of free services and help make it happen.
Okay. And understanding that there is no requirement to have parking for downtown because it's in a C2. With 38 families, that would be potentially a lot of vehicles. And, our on-street parking is only 1 hour limit. So, okay, either way. So, do you have any, obviously they're going to have to park somewhere, right? So I'm understanding that there's technically allowed. Where would they park?
That's a good question. So
A partnership in the garage would be great.
right. So that's something that
Exactly.
fortunately, where this building is located, and we just walked it today, Appleway connects right to the parking garage that has about 200 plus parking spaces, and I understand that another developer is going to ask for 20 or 30. And there's another one that happens to be my landlord at the office that we have that's going to ask for some. But there's plenty of parking spaces in there that we would come in and, after the fact, after we're approved, try to secure some spaces for our tenants that may need some. So that's part of the plan of what we're doing, but I didn't want that to be part of this approval. It's just something that we're going to do for our tenants to secure additional parking for them. Or-
Council has expressed a great interest in renovating the apartment. Which is, really, it's imperative, we're gonna have to do that.
Yeah, like that.
You want to shut it off? Or- Yeah, I think you should shut it off. Yeah, shut it off. Can we just get one of those, like, regular mics and then we pass it around? Because I mean, that's just all.
Test. Test.
This only happens when I present, right?
Two. Alright.
Any other questions from council?
Yeah. And then, so Apple Alleyway, that, you're not asking for anything with that, right?
No,
That's not part of
they
it.
can
Okay, 'cause
walk
I
from-
know that was in the presentation, but it's just a picture of it, I'm assuming.
Yep.
So you're
No,
just
we're
talking
not
about
asking.
walking from there?
Yep.
Okay.
There's actually an exit from the parking garage right onto Apple, and you take a few steps and you're at the building. So
Okay.
it's like not even half a block from to the parking lot, so it's well positioned for that, for parking.
Okay, and then my last one, I'm sorry. So obviously, this is a pretty quick timeline, which if you can do, that'd be fantastic. My only question would be, so obviously we have a lot of different projects going on, and I know when you were here, I think back in March, your statement was that you would have, by the time you come back for approval, you'd have Hickory done, which isn't the case now. Do you see this, with everything going on, are you concerned about not being able to hit these deadlines?
No, actually, we're doing really well at Hickory. We got the permit late, so that's the reason why. We got the permit in late May, mid-May, that's when we started construction. And right now, the roads are ready to be paved, just about ready to be paved, and all the infrastructure's there, the pond is ready, the model home is gonna be done in the next couple weeks, the foundation's in. So we're moving very quickly, we just got 3 months later, the entire subdivision is almost finished. But there was a delay in the permits, but no, absolutely not. We're moving at a good pace. The Royalty Place development was recently approved by the county, and now we're going through the NPDS approval. We're expecting that in September. So really, the delays that we've experienced have been due to permitting. Just the permitting speed I didn't expect in the year. I just didn't know that some of these permits took so long. Were it not for that, I invite you to come out to Hickory and see where we really are. We're just about, ready to go. We just got the permit a couple months ago. So, but no, absolutely not. Everything is moving forward. And again, this is modular. It doesn't require a lot of manpower. Most of it, almost 90% of the building is built off-site. So, for example, the precast concrete guys, they come in, they install it. You don't have a lot of people that just bring it. And the modular company, they actually install it. The labor that you'll see out there is the final finishes, interior and exterior.
Any other questions?
Who lays the foundation? So everything gets contracted out, right? So I'm a little bit, I built a house myself, it took me 12 months, 4,000 square feet plus. So I'm a little bit leery because construction people have a tendency to, I'll get there and you do 2 or 3 jobs at the same time. I'm not saying you're going to do that, but I am a little bit leery on that. The price, where'd you get the 900? Where was the idea? 900
For the studio apartments, that's in our pro forma. So what we tried to do is, after you lay out all the costs, so we had hard bids on the first floor. You asked about the foundation. That's, I don't want to say the company, but we've got 2 bids, and they actually do the foundation, so we're not self-performing it. And the house that took you 12 months was probably not modular. If it was modular, it would have been a lot faster. But your question was the pricing per square foot, or the pricing for the units.
The units.
So what we do is we factor in all the costs, land costs, construction costs, architectural, engineer, everything that's involved in the whole building. Then at the end of the day, there's a total project cost, and then you have to refinance it to pay off the construction loan. with like a Freddie Mac loan, which is probably what we're gonna do. It's low interest, long-term permanent financing for the building, call it your mortgage, okay, your long-term mortgage. And so that mortgage is gonna pay off the cost of construction, so it's at a certain amount. So in order for me to pay that mortgage, I have to rent the apartments for a certain amount. So that's how we came up with the numbers. But it's not just that amount. So let's say that amount is $100 that I have to refinance. The lender wants to see that your revenues are 1.25, so 125% more than the debt service. So we have to come in, and that's the lowest I could possibly do it. And because it's Newcastle and it's brand new, and honestly, the rents are going to go up in 2 or 3 years. But to get it started, a new building, at not low-income affordable housing, we're not going to rent it luxury. So I tried to get it as low as possible to really just get it filled up fast. So $900 a month for a studio apartment, and we've got 1 bedrooms in there for about $1,200. That's going to lease up pretty fast.
You gonna take Section 8 housing?
No.
No.
This is not, we've got enough, with all due respect, I don't want to misspeak, but there's an imbalance in Newcastle. There's a lot of low income and affordable, not that that's not good.
But you can get a house for $800.
You can get a house for $800.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you about $900.
That's right.
Section 8 housing, $800, you know, that's real close to $900.
Yep, that's true.
So we're not taking any Section 8 housing.
No, this is, it's not apples to apples though. I couldn't move in Newcastle because, you know.
It's new, it's beautiful, that's why I'm saying 900 is light.
Yeah.
I think 900 is light.
Yeah, it's a starting point.
I'd like to see that a little bit higher. Just because rent's really high now, you know that, you're in the business, I'm in the business, he's in the business. You know, the rent's high.
Well, I also want to say these are preliminary numbers, so before the building gets built, you know, we'll see what our brokers say as they're leasing it. It could be that the first 1 or 2 are at 900, and then they start increasing it as, you know, with the propensity of rents.
Okay.
Yeah, I had made a comment a few months ago that in 1 or 2 years, people in Newcastle are not going to they're not going to recognize our downtown. And this is a step in that direction. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I have some questions for the solicitor.
Yes, go ahead there, Jonathan. I got a headache.
Thank you. The building itself is presumed ADA accessible.
Yes.
American with Disabilities Act, proposed plan. What are your plans in place for security?
Security, we're going to have 24-hour surveillance, video surveillance, but 24-hour monitored. And we are going to have fire sprinkler. It's going to be fire sprinkler throughout MBDA.
As far as suppression? Okay.
Yes.
Any on-site management or employees?
No. This is a regular apartment building with no employees, no office. But our office, you know, we have a maintenance department in our office who will regularly, you know, visit the building and collect rents and things like that.
Do you plan to have financing? Obviously, without getting into your sort of business proprietary financial information, are you planning to have full financial commitment by the time you apply for construction?
Yes, we have three lenders right now that, for all intents and purposes, are bidding on our deal. Just because it meets all the ratios and everything they need. So we have choices right now, which construction lender we want to go with.
So obviously, construction lending traditionally would entail, you know, you're not just going to get all the money up front for the construction, but you would have commitments in place for the full amount of construction.
Yep, it's a draw system. So it's traditional but non-conventional. So we're not going with the bank. We're going with private lenders. That's just how would say most developers do it that way. If you go with the bank, you might as well just wait 6 months to close, and there's just a, you know. So it's a private lending, but these are huge, you know, they're like banks. They're just private lenders, and they just earmark the funds, put it in an escrow, and every month there's a draw, just a construction, you know, based on the progress. Yeah.
I think there would be a concern that once you begin the construction process, if that's not in place, you know, we're gonna have a half-finished building in downtown Newcastle, or just a footprint of the building, so.
Well, in this case, that would be impossible, because we're doing it modular, they won't deliver the modulars and the modules until our lender has paid them a certain amount. I think it's like 80% of the total cost. So those draws don't go to me directly; they go straight to the modular factory. Then when they deliver, they know the lenders, so that after they deliver, they actually get paid directly from the lender. So in this case, it's not going from me to them; it's going straight from the lender to the modular company. So it would be impossible for us to have a half-built building, because they won't just deliver half of the modules.
Understood. If council were to impose a condition like that on the project, would you be agreeable with that?
A financing commitment before.
Being able to show proof of financing commitment at the time of the building application. And I'm not suggesting they're gonna impose that condition, but if they were, is that something we can abide by?
I would prefer not to do it that way. I would request not to do it that way, because, you know, we're negotiating with lenders, and I can't really speak to the speed at which they can move. So I'd be put in a position where I may accept terms that I don't want just because I need to have it on time. And just like I didn't know the permitting time frame for our NPDES permit that took forever. You know, we have over $8 million of financing right now in the projects that we have. We've successfully financed our projects. It's very normal, and you know, that's what developers do. We get construction loans to build our buildings. But that type of contingency would just put us in a predicament.
You indicate construction. Conditions were imposed requiring the start of construction within, say, 12 months, or requiring completion within, say, 24 months. Would you agree to those
Yes,
conditions?
I agree with that, definitely.
And as far as the particular footprint of the site is approximately 12,600 square feet.
Yes.
Our zoning code for multifamily apartment houses requires a footprint of 13,000, a lot footprint of 13,000 square feet for a family of 4. In this situation, you're gonna have to request a zoning variance that will allow you to have, the required lot size for the existing zoning regulations would be 30,000 square feet. Obviously, this lot size isn't that big. You'll have to request that variance in, prior to getting a building permit. You understand that? And that'll be through the zoning hearing board for Newcastle. But that is a zoning requirement you'll have to do, and that would have to occur prior to you applying for a zoning permit. You understand that?
I think I understand it now. So in addition to this approval, let's say, can you walk me through it? Let's say this is approved today or on the 8th, whenever it's approved. Before I can apply for a building permit, which would stop our architectural and engineering, because if we don't have zoning, we're not going to pay the architects to do all the work. We would have, the next step would be a zoning approval.
Yeah, so to comply with that particular zoning provision, it's section 1329.05F, and that sets the lot footprint requirements for multifamily units. As part of a conditional use, again, if council is inclined to approve, a condition would be you have to apply to all applicable aspects of the zoning code. One of those aspects specifically would be to obtain a variance to allow that expanded number of units on that smaller footprint of the lot. That process would go through the zoning hearing board, application, hearing, and all that. And that's unfortunately, that's unavoidable, and that's separate from conditional use approval. Conditional use says, here's what we want to do. Zoning, the variance says, here's what the code says, here's why we want an exception to that. And they're two different things, but a conditional use can require applicant to comply with all zoning, just like you would for building permit, you have to comply with all applicable zoning.
Which requires a variance in this case. Is it possible for city council to waive zoning variance? You can't waive that.
Yeah, but what it would be incumbent for him to do is apply for the variance to the zoning board.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that shouldn't be that late. He could schedule that, soon enough.
That would, without having that variance, it would prevent you from getting a permit to construct, it wouldn't prevent you from demolition and asbestos. Okay?
But the interesting part about that is that obviously you've got to wait for the next zoning hearing, and I don't know when that would be, but they can have a special hearing too, isn't that correct?
They could schedule.
Yeah, they can schedule it just for him to grant him a variance.
And what is that process typically for a zoning variance here in Newcastle?
You apply with the zoning officer, fill out an application just like you did for conditional use, and then it gets scheduled for
Public.
zoning hearing.
Is there a public hearing or?
There is.
There's a public hearing.
At the zoning board meeting, though, right?
Oh, so it's one meeting, the public hearing and the zoning meeting is one? Okay. Understood.
The zoning, who's chairperson of the zoning? Christie. We'll get that information to you.
Okay, thank you.
Just a couple more questions, Mr. Trinidad. You've indicated the current proposal is 5 stories in height, is that correct?
Yes.
Is that something that you settle? It's not gonna end up being 6 or 7 or 2 or 3?
No, 5 is all we're set on.
As far as the architectural plans for the building, we have your architectural and artistic renderings. here.
Preliminary, those are
Correct. Would you have any issue with council having input on the final architectural plans?
no issues at all.
Condition.
No, we invite it, actually.
That's all the questions I have. Any follow-up questions from council based on my questions? Any questions from members of the public or any comments? There's no response to that. Sir, you have provided us with a handout. Would you like this additionally to be made part of the record?
Yes, please.
Okay, we'll mark this as petition as exhibit 2. And you also had a PowerPoint presentation, sir. Is any of what's in there not in the documents that we already have?
No,
It's all in.
during that handout.
Very good. I will note for the record that at the time the meeting convenes, Councilman Lozano was not present. He did appear several minutes into the presentation. We have all council members present for this hearing, with the exception of Councilman Rogers. I believe that's all we have.
Okay. Council, after this conclusion, Mr. Trinidad, we can adjourn this meeting. And that adjourns the meeting. We'll go right into our special meeting. Proceed.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah. Steps ready. We'll do that exactly. You mean this thing, this particular item? You want to, well, we have a couple items on executive session, so we can just do that at our executive session.
You might want to announce that we're going to discuss this exactly during the regular meeting.
I will do that. All right, we're ready. We already called the, we're gonna do this without mics, is that what we're gonna do? No, it's on, good. We already did the pledge and moment of silence, call to order. Let's have a roll call for the special meeting on Monday, July 29th.
Mr. Cameron.
Here.
Mr. Bogart.
Here.
Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rosanna.
Here.
Mr. Ward.
Here.
Mr.
Here.
Mayor Liscan.
Here. Under adoption of the agenda, we have an acknowledgement of the fair agenda, consideration of requests to be heard. Do we have any requests to be heard? Mr. Bogart, would you check that, please?
No.
There are none. Okay. Therefore, for amendments to the agenda, we have none. Motion to, I need a motion to adopt our final agenda.
Motion.
Mr. Ritter moves.
Second.
Second by Mr. Ward. Let's call the vote for that.
Mr. Cameron.
Yes.
Mr. Bogart.
Yes.
Mr. Rosanna.
Yes.
Mr. Ward.
Yes.
Mr. Ritter.
Yes.
Mayor Liscan.
Yes. Under comments, administration comments, do we have any, Mr. Fry? None, public, council comments, anything here? Okay, moving along. Fiscal contractual, we have no authorization to bid. And the receipt of bids, I need a motion to authorize city clerks to open a bid for Apple Alley Pocket Park Construction, contract number 2024-10.
Motion.
Mr. Ritter, second by Mr. Ward. Call a vote to open that.
Mr. Cameron.
Yes.
Mr. Bogart.
Yes.
Mr. Rosanna.
Yes.
Mr. Ward.
Yes.
Mr. Ritter.
Yes.
Mayor Liscan.
Yes.
For the record, we received 2 bids that do not have what contract they were for written on the outside. So I don't know if you'll manage to open all of them now.
Well, what you're saying is it doesn't have the contract number 2024.
So I don't know if,
Does that make it legal?
there's one bid that it doesn't say, see, there's no return address, there's no, so I don't know if this is for the Traverse or if this is for the Pocket Park.
Mr. Miller?
So,
You can open that, obviously, we're opening both tonight?
yes.
That's fine, if it's for the other bid, you can set it aside till we get to it.
Okay. Okay. First bid was from the Salvatore Group, LLC. This bid was received on 7/29/2024 at 2:12 p.m. $144,971 even. 144,971 even. And I do not see a bid warrant unless I'm missing it. And I don't see a check for 10%. Next was from Vermont Stone and Horticulture, 8306 Ohio River Boulevard, Pittsburgh, PA 15202. This bid was received on 7/29/2024 at 2:13 p.m.
Steffi's? What was the name of that company?
This one is
Vermont.
Vermont Stone and Horticulture.
Thank you.
This bid, okay, so there is a base bid for 202,975 even, so 202,975. And there is an alternate bid for $3,520. So total base plus alternate is 206,495 even, and there is a 10% bid bonus. This is the bid we're not sure of, so I'm gonna open now. This bid is from, I'm gonna spell it, Gargiulo Landscape. Gargiulo Landscape.
Gargiulo.
Gargiulo, okay, thank you.
Is that you?
Me, yes.
So this bid was received on 7/29 at 2:33 p.m. And this bid is for the pocket park, yes, this is for the pocket park. So the base bid is $150,626 even, 150626. The alternate bid is for $4,013 for a total base plus alternate, $152,644 even. And $4,013.
No, that's not right. 154.
So the base bid is 150626. The alternate is 4013. So the 4639. However, it says on here base bid with alternate 152,654. That's why we have the engineer check the math on the bids. There is a certified check for $20,000 included. And I don't know if the base bid, like, I don't know if that's. Okay. So that's it.
Okay.
So no bids.
No bids on the car.
No, because we didn't receive any other bids.
For the Chevy Traverse. Okay, so then, there's no bids on the Chevy Traverse, am I correct? Okay,
Correct.
we skip over that then. Okay. Okay, I need a motion to receive and refer the administration for study and report back to council for acceptance of bids. I need a motion.
Motion.
Mr. Ritter.
Second.
Second by Mr. Ward. Call the vote. The follows.
Mr. Cameron?
Yes.
Mr. Vogler?
Yes.
Mr. Rosanna?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Ritter?
Yes.
Mayor Liscan?
Yes. Under resolutions on the table, there's one, approving a change order number one and an increase amount of $8,600. That will be vacant parcel site improvement project. Contract number 2024-03, Graziani Construction. This has been tabled, and we have to be moved from the table and acted on. There are none. Under new resolutions, I need a motion to approve. Resolution 2024-136, rescinding resolution number R 2024-128, authorizing administration to expend $2,065 to seal coat the Grant Street impound lot. Motion to approve.
Motion.
Mr. Ritter, second by Mr. Ward. Call the vote for that.
Mr. Cameron?
Yes.
Mr. Vogler?
Yes.
Mr. Rosanna?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Ritter?
Yes.
Mayor Liscan?
Yes. Okay, resolution 2024-137, motion to approve the authorization of administration to expend $22,065 to seal coat the Grant Street impound lot.
Motion.
Mr. Ward, Mr. Ritter, I'm sorry.
Second.
Second, Mr. Ward, call the vote.
Just to clarify, the reason for this is it's not gonna come from forfeiture, so it's the same resolution, we're just gonna pay for it out of one of the police line items.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Cameron?
Yes.
Mr. Vogler?
Yes.
Mr. Rosanna?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Ritter?
Yes.
Mayor Liscan?
Yes. Resolution 2024-138, authorizing the administration to expend $53,251 to purchase a new 2024 Ford F-150 for the Newcastle Police Department. Motion to approve.
Motion.
Mr. Ritter.
Second.
Second by Mr. Ward. Call the vote.
Mr. Cameron?
Yes.
Mr. Vogler?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers? Mr. Rosanna?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Ritter?
Yes.
Mayor Liscan?
Yes. Okay, under ordinance. Council Bill 2024. That was done. Okay. For final action and introduction, we have none. We will adjourn this meeting to go into executive session. In executive session, we're going to go to discuss the City Hall roof replacement project and a personnel matter, and also the Metrovitalization proposal that they made. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen.